and welcome to yet another 12 days of Coalition Christmas. My name is Brian Westbrook, the Executive Director and Founder of Coalition Life, and I'm honored and blessed to have with us today Jeff and Renee Gibbs. Welcome.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, Jeff, you've been at the seminary for a long time. I think you've recently retired. Tell us about your work at the seminary and also your work through the pro-life efforts.
Great. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, I'm a Lutheran pastor, and after 10 years of parish service, I started teaching at Concordia Seminary in 1992 in New Testament. And I retired during the summer of the pandemic 2 years ago. And as a part of the faculty with Renee's partnership, we became the faculty advisory couple for the Life Team, which is the life-affirming pro-life group at the seminary. And over the years, we had lots and lots of opportunities to promote God's issues in the life arena.
So Renee, you have a lot of your own work that you're doing as well, and you also sit on our board of directors. So what kind of things have you been doing in the life arena?
Well, it was a real joy to meet you years ago when you started Coalition, and some of the young people that I worked with Teens for Life in the high school actually came and worked with you, and some of our seminary students, deaconesses, have as well. And it's just been such a joy to see from the very beginning how you were so gospel-centered and wisely on the sidewalk developing your methodology, which is now spread across the country. And it's a great joy because you're spending the money so wisely. You're not doing all these glitzy things, but it's going for the women, for the families, the babies. And we're just really grateful to be a part of it. It's a joy to be on the board of directors.
So, Jeff, as you watched us grow from just a tiny little small organization where we can combine, barely rub two pennies together, right?
Right.
And we continue to grow. What have you seen? Have you been impressed with things that may set us apart from other organizations?
That's a great question, Brian. Two things come right away to mind. One is that as the Coalition Life organization has grown, I think you've grown in your, and I mean this word in the best possible sense, professionalism and accountability. You take very seriously the work that God has given you to do, and also the means by which people enable you to do it. So I really appreciate that. But the other thing is that I don't think I've ever seen you lose your focus, your laser focus on what kind of ministry you're interested in doing. And that is literally life-saving ministry in a loving and gentle way on the sidewalk, valuing every life that you encounter there, even the lives of our enemies, right? As Jesus taught us. So those two things I have been really grateful for, the growth in a positive way, but then never changing the focus of the work that Coalition Life is doing.
Yeah, it's interesting. My my wife and I, we chat about this and laugh about this a lot. But literally every single morning, I'm going to use the word abortion. Right. And in fact, during the day, I'm going to use the word abortion 200, 300 times during the day. And what other job would this ever happen? Right?
I can't think of one.
Exactly. And so it's interesting when I go out, for lunch or hang out with some people at an event. We get some heads to turn for sure.
Right. What do you talk about all day? Yeah.
Right. We talk about abortion all day. So it's certainly not the job that I would have picked for myself, but here we are. God very much placed us here and placed my wife and our children here. Renee, for those who are listening today, what is your message for them as we're approaching end of year and hope to end the year really strong?
Well, I would thoroughly encourage them to support Coalition Life as we do, as we have for many years. And we are monthly supporters, so that's a great way to go. So as part of your budget what to count on. And just to know that with all the new clinics that need to be covered, each one is 100 to 150,000, to be able to have your staff there on the sidewalks during all the hours that it's open. And that's that's where the action is. That's where these little children are being killed. And so that's where we need to be. So rather than money being wasted, I would just encourage your donors to support you now. The fact that you have down to the very penny, 36 cents, you've got it figured out. And as on the board of directors, I see where those pennies are going. Yeah. And you're very careful. And so it's a very good investment of saving lives.
Yeah, we debate those pennies, like literally we debate them a lot, because we know that the donor dollars, they're hard earned. People worked really hard for those donor dollars, and we wanted to be very, very prudent with the way that we spend those donor dollars. So for those who are listening, the numbers down there on the bottom, $674,436.36. This is our big challenge for the end of the year. Fill that gap so that we can end the year strong, as well as when we look to 2023, really hit the ground running. And we got a lot of growth we want to do up in Chicago, and of course, Carbondale, Illinois, and Southern Illinois. There's now 2 abortion facilities open. Planned Parenthood plans to open in the spring, along with a 4th abortion facility planning to open as well next year. So there's a lot of abortions pouring into Southern Illinois, especially in Carbondale, and we're responding aggressively towards that crisis in Carbondale, as well as looking at Chicago and growing up there as well. So a lot's happening here at Coalition, and thank you, Jeff and Renee, for spending this time with me today. Thank you for being part of the 12 Days of Coalition Christmas. And for those donors, remember, a single gift will count once towards that goal. A monthly gift will count 12 times towards that goal. So please consider both. Thank you both again for being on the call.
Thanks,
Great
Brian.
to be with you. Thanks.
Merry Christmas.
God's blessings.